Hey everybody, on this episode of Box Office Breakdown, we're going to find out how Inferno wasn't able to set fire to Madea's reign at the top of the box office. Let's do it.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Hey everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown here on Popcorn Talk. Of course, this is the show that talks about the box office from the weekend that was, and then we like to...
Prognosticate.
The prognosticate air horn blasting away, yes. Prognosticating about the weekend to come. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Brand. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
Hi guys, I'm Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian.
And howdy, folks. Happy Halloween. I'm Kari Lane. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at Kari D. Lane and Facebook at Kari Lane Actor. And DJ Richie Skye is in corporeal form this evening.
He's passed
He's
on.
a ghost.
That's right. You can feel it's really cold inside the studio right now.
Ooh.
Whoa, you can't just poke through him.
I know, right?
Oh, that's so rude.
Yes.
Richie Skye is just off to the great beyond, but he'll be haunting us throughout this episode, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yes.
He's here in spirit.
Yes. So we'll be breaking down this weekend's box office, which I gotta say was not as great as I was hoping it was gonna be.
Ooh.
Well, we were all wrong.
Yes.
Let's start with that.
Yeah, we were wrong.
Where's our
big wrong.
chat room?
Folks, as always, as we get ready to break into it, this weekend's box office and talk about next weekend's as well, you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hop in the chat. James in the booth, who is, I may say this, you were ripped this evening, sir.
Yes, he is.
You guys could see him.
Flex.
Man, this guy's been making some serious gains at the gym.
That reminds me of when SpongeBob wore that big suit and then the lady put the glass on his hand and are you guys big into SpongeBob or should I stop talking?
It's okay.
You talk as much as you want about it.
Look at that chat full of people.
Look at that. We got the chat room up and running, so chime in there, share your thoughts about this weekend's box office or talk about what's coming up this weekend as well, which, I'm Doctor Strange, guys, just already. Right now, I'm just saying Doctor Strange. Very excited about this.
That's next weekend, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Or this weekend, so this Friday.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Excited, guys. So we'll be talking about our box office bet for next week. So you can start thinking about the movies you want us to bet on. That is going to be either Doctor Strange, Hacksaw Ridge, or Trolls. One of those 3, guys. You know, and just so you know, I mean, I love you guys. I really... I would do anything for you guys. Really, I would honestly do anything. You just tell me in the chat, I would do it for you. So, I mean, if I say I would love to see Doctor Strange, guys, come on, just do something for me.
Yeah, but you're going to guess right and not have to see it.
Now they're going to pick Trolls.
No, what? Kari, this is
Don't give them ideas.
Ah, don't do this to me.
Whenever we got a kid animated movie in here, Alvin is always pushing for us to go see that one. So I know he's going to be leading that. Yes!
How dare you? Well,
he's going to be leading that campaign.
He's also still looking for a cuffing partner. Oh, Alvin, no luck this past week.
Join the club.
I don't know if I'd offer it up that way.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That makes it a little too inviting. Let's be nice, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Star Drew. There you go.
You know,
that's why I love you most of all, Star Drew, because of the comments like that.
Media Sharks is 85 international last week.
I know, man. It's been kicking butt.
Whoop, whoop.
So of course, the last week's box office bet was on Inferno. That was the only one that was in the box office. So we'll get to how Inferno did in just a moment. But coming in at number 1 again, Boo, a Madea Halloween.
Yep.
I'm interested to see now how this movie will do next week because it will be in its 3rd week and also it's not Halloween anymore.
True.
Like, is there going to be like a massive drop off because like just content wise, like it's not as exciting to go see a Halloween movie like after Halloween?
Because this was Halloween weekend for people. Because I mean it's Halloween today, but the weekend people are doing most of their parties and activities. So it was more fitting to see it. I think it's going to drop off.
I think so too.
And I know, Kari, you of course celebrated Halloween weekend by seeing Boo, a Madea Halloween.
Not yet.
Oh, what? How could
There's
you?
There's not a timeline on when we gotta watch these right away.
Well, yeah, but I also
soon. But not later.
What's your definition of soon?
I'll probably see it maybe next week.
I don't think I'm ever going to be able to see Max Steel until it comes out on video. Truly, it's not playing anymore. It's gone.
Not like months. I went to Halloween parties this weekend. I was busy.
Somebody was a socialite. Got it.
You know.
Breakdown, quick costume breakdown. What did you do?
What'd you do?
I did Money Supermarket.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I did Dave. It's if you guys have seen these commercials, they're hilarious. Just go look up Money Supermarket Epic Strut, and it's this dude walking down the street in a blazer, button-up, tie, but short jean shorts and heels. So I did exactly that, and I did my hair
I
in a
know
bun.
that. I know it now that you say it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that you posted a picture, and you went over to Stanley's LA Comic Con. You said only 3 people recognized you?
No, not at Comic-Con, at the parties.
At the party, only 3 people recognized it?
Yeah, and one of the guys had auditioned for one of the roles in those commercials.
Gotta love LA, how things come around like that.
Money Supermarket favorited my tweet and responded. So on Twitter, I felt like, yes.
Yeah.
So it's on my Twitter, guys, if you want to see that photo.
Very nice.
Like doing a nice deep cut for Halloween.
Did you guys do anything?
I was on Saturday. I was like a very True Blood inspired vampire because I had a fang banger. Like my friend Zach, who I chose him because he's my sexiest friend. He was on a leash and we had like blood on him, and I like, you know, it was very much like, it was very glam, very True Blood, and that was really fun. And then last night I was Kurt Cobain and nobody recognized me.
Really?
At all. The problem was I couldn't get the hair right.
Just make it messy.
I tried. I don't
You're
have
blonde and just
whatever kind of goopy pomade.
Gel.
I put everything I had in my hair and it just like dried and looked normal.
Were you dead Kurt Cobain or alive?
I thought about doing dead Kurt Cobain and then I was like, that seems
Too soon.
not too soon. Just like people are gonna be like,
weird.
okay, why are you being so aggressive with your costume? So yeah, I just went as regular Kurt Cobain and I had like made a T-shirt and everything and it was like looking really cool. But I think it's just like, it's not like Kurt Cobain is like it's not like he's like in the back of people's minds right now. So it was kind of like, oh, I see it now that you say it, but I wouldn't have gotten it right away.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Star Drew made a comment that I think you mean like because of LA Comic Con, formerly Kamikaze, which I don't know. It's dumb they switched the name. I think it's dumb because Kamikaze stood out as a name.
Watch
anyway,
all the time. Yeah.
Fine, whatever. But was saying that maybe people didn't go see Inferno or other movies as well because they're at the con.
Yeah, that would probably just be an LA market, a very small market.
That'd be a small market.
We give LA a credit for being responsible for a huge internet part of the domestic box office. Maybe not.
We did talk about that with what came out. Oh, Star Trek came out during Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, and those numbers weren't as high as we thought they might be.
Yeah, but I feel like.
But that's a much bigger.
Yeah,
turnout.
I feel like that's a more. That's it's much
that's
more
like
international
thousands
destination.
of people. Yes.
So Boog got $16.67 million coming in there still. So that even that was enough to still take number one. I really thought Inferno was going to do better.
Yeah.
I mean, we even had people in the chat saying, you know, people aren't really going to be seeing movies this weekend, Halloween weekend. It's not really a huge weekend to go see movies. You know, we already had people guessing pretty low because it only had like a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it really wasn't doing well.
Yeah.
So people, we all knew, you know, everyone in the chat even was guessing that it probably wasn't going to do that great. Nobody thought it was going to do only 15 million. I mean, like that's got to be Tom Hanks's like worst opening like ever.
I don't know. I think a hologram for the king. That was.
Well, I'm sure there's other ones, but this is, you know, these are the Dan Brown movies.
For one
Recently.
of his like, one of his.
And these have so much clout and such a built-in fan base already. I mean, this is a bad opening start for this guy.
Yeah.
I think it'll have some legs though.
But it's also the same thing too. Like with Bridget Jones, we're talking so many years since the
It's been a
previous
little
film.
too long.
Yeah. That's
Maybe
true as
like
well.
there you go. That's a good question for our fans. How long is too long? I'm losing my hat here. How long is too long between like a franchise movie comes out? You know, like I would say 3 to 5 is about your max. Anything longer than that, it's like, what movie are we talking about?
Star Wars.
I mean, although you look at something like.
But that's different.
You know, Star Wars is definitely different. That's definitely the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And I feel like animated films get a pass too on that. If you think about like Finding Dory.
Because it's also the people, and then they take their kids.
Yes.
7
So
years.
That's
same thing,
different.
Like Incredibles
Yeah.
2, a lot of buzz about Incredibles 2.
7 years is too long. Yeah. So 3 to 5.
I think that's probably the sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the book, but heard they decided to alter the ending of Inferno to make it
Ooh.
happier.
There's like some nostalgic click that it's something like your parents watched that like,
Right.
now it's being revamped, so they're
Yeah.
taking their kids to see because they remember enjoying it when they were a child.
Or you are taking your kids now,
Yeah.
kind of idea.
Kinda,
Yeah.
something to that extent.
Yeah, it was interesting because I mean the book has come out several years ago, Inferno.
That
so
too.
it's like, all right.
It's not timely enough.
Yeah. So I mean, I still want to see it because I mean, I
Yeah,
am
I'm
a sucker
still
for those,
interested.
but I have to admit, my enthusiasm to go rush it out and see it opening weekend was kind of tempered. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll try to do a double feature with Doctor Strange.
But I tell you,
So-
I lost the bet I don't mind that I have to go see Inferno. I was pretty interested in it to begin with, so maybe I'll do a double feature 2 next week or something and hit 2 in 1. Yeah.
So yes, so Inferno came in number 2. It only got $15 million this week, but as we're talking about, hopefully it has a little bit of legs. It'll stick around for a little bit.
Especially now, now that we're getting kind of into the Thanksgiving season past, that is movie watching season, isn't it? Kind of fall kind
holidays.
Exactly, holiday time. We're gonna start seeing numbers boost.
You want to just get a cuffing partner and head out to the theater, right?
I think cuffing is really more something you do like at home, but
Okay, fine, whatever.
That's Netflix and chill home.
yeah, that's Netflix and chill.
Okay.
Sky Patterson, Star Trek 4 will be a prequel to rebooted trilogy. It will be rebooted again because the film didn't make as much money.
I love it. Lay Jen says definitely 20 years. Like Independence Day.
Yeah, that was also way too long. Way too long.
That was, man, that movie was interesting.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman's beer was magnificent in that film. That was my favorite part of the movie. So coming in at number 3, we've got Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, $9.5 million. Yeah, that had a nice almost a 59% drop almost. Ugh.
Yeah.
Man, I have not heard that much great stuff about this film, and I was so excited to see it. And after just hearing just the kind of negative reviews, and stuff, my enthusiasm
that
was
really is the
tempered.
thing with this one. I swear, like it was the one that was like gonna do okay opening weekend, and if it was really good and had crazy word of mouth, we'd be seeing it up here, number 2. It would be doing really, really well,
Oh no, it's just been like.
Alvin brings out Zoolander 2 was way too late. Yeah, I would agree with that one too. That one seemed to kind of come and go, like as time had passed. It should have come out much sooner.
Yep.
Yeah, and way too bad nobody liked it either.
Yeah, very true.
I didn't see it.
So, certainly the Jack Reacher, at least the novels, there's over 18 novels. So
I feel books, though, you could wait a while and it'd still be okay. Movies are different.
I'm wondering, though, like with the Jack Reacher franchise, seeing as like if this one doesn't do that well, would they consider that the books are interesting enough to make films that they kind of let it lay low for a couple years? They almost do like with Tom Clancy novels, they kind of reboot it, bring somebody else in to do as Jack Reacher.
Maybe.
I'm also wondering, like, maybe like 007. What are the movies that are based off books that do have that long lifespan that you can just keep pumping them out? James Bond is the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But
Well, that one's one where you could have the same actor for a couple, switch. So yeah, it could be done.
So what is the template here? The perfect template for like releasing these kind of book kind of time.
Well, because it worked all right with the Tom Clancy. Alec Baldwin, you had that. Then you had Harrison Ford. It was great. And then went down to Ben Affleck. And that wasn't a bad movie, the Ben Affleck version of that. And then went down to Chris Pine, and that did not do well.
No, it didn't.
So I don't know if that's something where that's like they're going to kind of let it lay low or maybe try to reboot it again. I don't know, because it was already, the first talk was like Tom Cruise was not a good fit for how he's described in the novels. Jack Reacher, he's described as a much more tall, muscular built man.
Well, even with the Vinci Code series, I didn't think Tom Hanks was a good casting at all.
Really?
When I read it, I was like, nope.
He looked like, that was not his best looking role.
He's supposed to be a little more.
The hair
I'll
was...
tell you, the hair was.
I was leaning a little more Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Of how he should look. And like the only person that was great was I don't remember his name because it's been so long since I watched
The angel guy?
No, the detective, the French detective.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was, as I recall, the writer, Dan Brown, yes, he wrote it with that actor in mind.
Was it Jean Reno?
Yeah. So he was perfect, and
Yeah.
he was the one that I'm like, oh yeah, and then it was like, oh, he wrote it with him in mind. Yeah, perfect.
But I feel like with Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford, I see him as much more, I can see him being a much more aggressive, muscular, dynamic person.
Well,
But
he
I feel like
doesn't
Tom Hanks does well where I can see him doing that, but he's not a fighter. He's more, I can see him being more of a thinker.
I was looking on more superficial of being handsome or not. Not that Tom Hanks isn't handsome, but I think he's supposed to be more of a ladies' man, like instantly
yeah, I will say
women
Tom
were
Hanks is
liking
supposed to
him.
be. Tom Hanks is supposed to be like. I think his archetype is like non-threatening man.
He's not an
You know what I mean?
aggressive, like,
Yeah.
you don't, it's not like super sexual, like, attraction right away. But Harrison Ford, like Indiana Jones, he has that, like, charm and charisma. So I was thinking more that when I read it.
You don't
Speaking
think
of
Tom-
casting,
Tom Hanks is cute, but
He's
I'm
cute.
not like,
But charming?
oh baby. Oh, he's charming, in a different kind of way.
But I'm telling you, it's the non-threatening, non-aggressive kind of, from the guy next door kind of situation.
Yeah, there you go. It's like how there's a girl next door. Tom Hanks is more like the boy next door.
Yeah.
And we interrupted you. You were going to say
I was
something.
going to say, how do you, where are we at with the Doctor Strange casting? How do you feel? Because there has been some controversy
Do we want to
over
talk about
this.
them when we get to
We can wait.
Yeah. All right. But yes, I've got.
Just 'cause we were talking about casting
yes.
options.
We definitely should talk about that.
And as we talk about.
Oh, thank you, Lil Jen in the chat room. Understands
Did not
me.
like the cast that Tom Hanks is. Oh, right. All right.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and Alban. Thank you.
So coming in at number 4, we have somebody else that's also played one of those kind of characters there. Ben Affleck did one of the Tom Clancy novels. Also, The Accountant. Number 4, 8.475 this week at the box office.
Only down 37.
Yeah.
You know.
Seems like it's doing
Fine.
all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, given the small grosses this week, it's still doing really well. Mm-hmm. And number 5, rounding out, we get a little bit more of horror here. And instead of Boo, kind of comedically scary, this one just straight out scary. Ouija: Origin of Evil from Universal, a little over $7 million.
Yeah, which I'll still recommend Accountant and Ouija of like they were both cool. Mm-hmm. You'll be satisfied
But
enough.
again, it is like post-Halloween. I think we're not going to see people really going out to go see
Ouija, I mean,
after
horror
the
movies,
after the holiday, especially with the kind of bigger movies we have coming out.
I don't think their numbers are going to go bigger. No, but it is one of those of like if people are still on the fence, I'll be like, yeah, they were cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I actually always wonder, like, there's those people that like to go to haunted houses after Halloween because I feel like the crowds have kind of died
You know,
down.
I'm just all about
That's what
that
I'm
discount
doing.
candy,
I'm going to
baby.
Universal next weekend.
Halloween
Nice.
Horror
I'm
Nights?
gonna just take my hat off. There we go. It's not staying put. Yes, I'm going next weekend.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go after because you will wait for like 4 hours in line for like one house.
That's why I like Knott's better. Just my little
not
plug there.
Scary Farm.
Yes, I also worked there 3 years too, but I was Club Blood Vampire. But I just went. Sorry, divergence, guys, but you know, divergence. Haha. Anyway, we went and
Speaking
we went
of
through
movies based on
every maze, saw 2 shows, and still had an hour to spare on a Friday night.
Nice.
That would
Yeah,
not
Universal.
happen at
You will
Universal.
not.
No.
I got front of the
No,
line passes once
at
to
all.
Universal, and I felt like a PIMP. It was awesome.
Pimp, yep, that, all right. Nice.
No, I don't get me wrong. I do love Universal as well, but not like in terms of if you want to do everything. Like I'm that person. I'm like I have to go to every maze. Ooh, and there's
Yeah,
shows.
so
I have to see everything.
if you're in the Southern California area,
Yes.
if you're in the Los Angeles metro area, not Scary Farm.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying. Sorry,
Which
no
there's
offense
lots
to
of other
Universal.
attractions too.
It's all right.
You don't want to harsh on your.
Oh,
Even I don't spend much time there. So there you go.
CVS for candy. Yes, and oh man, all the places that do post-Halloween sales, go hit up CVS and Target.
Yeah,
and
there's like the half off or something like the dollars.
Yes.
They get
Yes.
a dollar.
It's
Oh.
my favorite.
Yeah, look at Media Shock. So I'm sure Media
Yeah,
Shock's
no
back-
spoilers,
Yeah,
guys.
he's done great. So no spoilers for Doctor
Yes.
Strange. It's already been released internationally, doing quite well. And speaking of international, let's just jump right into some of those numbers. In fact, Doctor Strange got a significant slice of the magic there, and it's now reporting $87.7 million overseas in 33 offshore markets. So doing really well. Now, there were no other major openings. I mean, basically, Inferno was the only major domestic release. But some local movies internationally had some good starts, including Warner Brothers' Japan release, Death Note, Light Up the New World. I've never seen any of the live-action Death Note films. I wonder how they are. But it did really well.
They're really cool.
Yeah?
I know I've seen the first 2, and those were pretty cool. I had only seen the anime. I haven't read it, the manga series, but from the anime to the movie, I thought it was actually a pretty good way to capture it. Because like, there's just physicality and like nuances that like one of the characters has. He like holds things all weird and just how but it's cool. You like him because you're like, you're so weird. And I felt the actors really kind of captured.
They paid
that
a lot of
essence.
attention to detail.
Yeah, and especially if you have a source material that people already like, you're kind of like, okay, no, you don't necessarily have to copy it, but you should pick up stuff from that. Though I will say I'm not thrilled that I'm hearing that like they want to remake it with an American cast. I'm like,
that's
what's
so
wrong
boring.
with the other one?
That is so boring. That's just like when they did the girl with the dragon tattoo. It was fine.
It's so good as the original. Why do we need it? See, I don't understand that when like it's really good and you're like, why are we remaking it?
It was fine, yeah.
Man,
Yes.
because I love the Death Note as the anime. I love that. Man, never have I seen anybody make writing in a book so awesome. You're like, what? This
Yes.
is such Such a well done. So if the films can hold a candle to that, then I definitely
They're
want
cool.
to check
They're
these
definitely
out.
worth checking out.
Cool.
I saw them at Anime Expo back when it was down in Anaheim. No, Long Beach,
Oh, nice.
when it was there for a little bit.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
You wouldn't, you kids now with your anime in LA. Oh my
Oh, how
God.
convenient. Yes.
I had to travel down to Long Beach.
All the way to Long Beach.
So I also had Inferno, of course, released. It also opened in Japan. The last two films, the Da Vinci Code franchise, saw some of the best North American performances in that market. In fact, Inferno's added $29.1 million this weekend to bring the international total to $132.7 million on its way to a potential $200 million, despite its poor domestic showing here. So much like, I say something like Bridget Jones, I mean, that didn't do well domestically, but internationally, it's done gangbusters.
Yeah, it's really killing.
Yeah. In fact, Trolls added another $30 million in 40 markets, with China leading the way to put it in the number 5 slot. And speaking of Bridget Jones' Diary, that continues to head towards $200 million worldwide as well. So, yeah, who knows? But the thing is, like, if it does so well that they're like, wow, this is successful, don't wait another 7 years then, guys.
Yeah, might as well just pump them out.
Yeah.
Let's try to capitalize on some of this.
She's got to get pregnant again.
That's right.
Baby number 2.
Yes.
Pregnant again.
They
Yeah.
finally have figured out your costume.
Yeah, Finn the Human for Adventure Time.
Yay.
It's definitely not like the most timely costume I'm aware, but
No,
like
you're fine.
it's fine.
It's all right.
I'm telling you, it was really a hit 3 years ago when I wore
Aw.
it. It was super in 3 years ago.
It's very cool.
Thanks.
I'm not non-specific Western cowboy. Yes, and I took my hat off because it was falling off.
Yeah.
But I did Western for Timeless, which was a Western episode at the Alamo, and then yesterday I had a different Western outfit for Westworld.
You're just making me want to go home and watch the new
Look at
episode of
you.
Westworld, honestly.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
really
seen it
good.
yet.
Carrie's hat rocks too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, Serenity says read the Doctor Strange comic. The film only
We
sticks
lost
to
it.
Doctor Strange's in name only. It lends more towards the animated film that came out. Gosh, 5. Maybe
There
5,
it
6
is.
years. The direct to DVD film that Marvel Animated did.
Oh.
And that was
I
didn't
mean,
find-
you know
it
what,
wasn't
you-
a bad one.
I
didn't
do
mind it.
like when I mean like
Yeah.
I think back to like Batman the Animated Series and how much I loved that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I just feel like do they all have to be live action?
Yep.
No,
Good
they
point.
don't have to be. No, I always wish that Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm had done better in the box office, because I would love to see more theatrically released animated films from
Yeah.
Warner Brothers.
I
Television.
agree.
I am dressed as a pie hole employee, guys. That's it. Yeah, a delicious pie shop here in Los Angeles.
Why didn't you bring pie?
It's in the kitchen, guys. I have to go
Oh,
back out and
okay.
get it. Oh boy.
He's lying.
I am. I'm sorry,
This
guys.
is a ruse.
So, as mentioned, we're getting closer to our box office bet. So, guys, start chiming in away about the film that you may want us to go see and bet on this week. It's Doctor Strange, Hacksaw Ridge, and Trolls. And while you're starting to chime away here, we're going to talk about next week's films. Of course, we like to do a top 5 inspired by somebody that's in one of the films coming up this week. I thought I'd do a little more of a deep pull, because we could have got like Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield. Their own films their headlining films coming out this weekend. But I was like, why don't we go a little deeper? Let's do Tilda Swinton.
Love it.
She's playing the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. So why don't we find out what her top 5 films at the box office were? What I liked about it too is like going through, because I went through Andrew Garfield's and Benedict Cumberbatch, and they had a lot of repetition in there. Just
Okay.
some sequels and things like that. I was like, no. Tilda Swinton had a nice kind of diverse kind of top 5, so I thought that'd be
Off
fun
the
to go
top of
over.
my head, I'm going to say The Beach.
Ooh, nope, that didn't make the
Oh,
top 5,
That's a good movie.
but still flex for us,
Yep.
James. You could hear.
Guns are going.
That's right. You could hear. You could
Nice.
hear the muscles contracting right there. Coming at number 5, let's see. Somebody Yep. Number 5, Vanilla Sky from Paramount back in 2001, $25 million. I don't think the movie was good. Although I can't
I
remember
saw
her
the
in it.
Spanish one that it was based on.
Was this
But I
also-
forget that name. But yeah.
How do you say Vanilla Sky in Spanish?
No, it had a different name, but I forget what it was.
Vanilla Sky was on
Sure.
a
Chat room,
different.
guys, what's the thing? It's because Vanilla Sky is based on a film from Spain, but I totally don't remember the name. But I know I've seen that
Churros
one.
y chocolate.
Yeah.
No, but like Water for Chocolate's a really cool movie and book too.
Do you guys know that I swear Vanilla Sky was on a top 5 that we had just talked about.
Was it Tom Cruise?
I don't think it's Tom.
Tom.
Doesn't feel like it would be Tom Cruise because it feels like 25 is low for his top 5.
Good question.
Do you all know?
Because I can't think the only ones that would
Open your eyes. Thank you. Abre sus ojos.
I think it's got to be Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it must have been. I can't think of what
Thank
different
you
top
for
5 it
writing
was
in
in.
English
Because we didn't do
for
the Cameron Diaz one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must have been that. Funny.
Or Penelope
Yeah.
Cruz. Yeah.
So yeah, the movie was Open Your Eyes, so Obre sus ojos.
Ooh.
Yes.
There you go. Let's see. Michael chiming in at Doctor Strange had to introduce Doctor Strange and magic to the Marvel Universe, as I said, so they had to keep it simple for a setup to make it an interesting sequel. All right. Coming in number 4 for Tilda Swinton, we've got The Curious Kiss of Benjamin Buttons. Button, excuse me,
get to
singular.
that one.
I really enjoyed that
Y'all
movie.
you never seen that one?
I never got to it. It was one of those I was interested in, just didn't happen.
You know what? It's cute.
I really enjoyed it tremendously. It just hooked me, and I cried at the end. So there you go, guys. You want to see? You want me to talk about a film that made me cry? Was Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just talking about just the advances in effects, and you see it now with especially in the Marvel films where they're kind of de-aging some of the actors.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel before Benjamin Button, the only one that really tried to do that was X-Men 3: The Last Stand, where they kind of de-aged Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, they look kind of really fake.
They did that with, just speaking of Westworld, they just did that with Anthony Hopkins, and that was really funny to see.
Man, I felt like Benjamin Button did a really good job of kind of making you see, because I think you recognize, oh my gosh, yeah, Brad Pitt, and I think more than Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, even though they're incredible actors and they've done a lot of theater work. Many people don't really spring to mind, like, I've been watching them in films since they were younger men.
Oh,
Brad
sure.
Pitt, you've been watching since
Oh yeah.
Thelma and Louise. So
and he was so young in that.
So when you see him kind of get back to that time
You're just
period,
like, whoa, you do look like it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's fun. It's one of those very epic movies, spanning someone's life, almost like a Forrest Gump in that way, where it's like this huge kind of production, and it's sweet.
That's cool. That I feel like, man, that de-aging technology, the way they're able to do that is so cool. When it's oh man, I like to see what's his name? Michael Douglas, all de-aged in Ant-Man at the beginning of the film, back when he's like Wall Street era Michael Douglas.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
Do you think they use those pictures as
it's
reference?
still kind of creepy. There's something about it that's a little off.
It's never quite right,
Yeah, you're
of
like,
course. But that's the
there-
same with all CGI. It's always like, oh, you're so close,
there's
but not quite.
Yes, but there was a cool thing. They did a radio story on NPR of like how we as human beings recognize people, and if something's off, it bothers us because it was like that, way back when mentality of, if somebody's ill or something to stay away. So they kind of got into the reason of why that kind of is why it irks us so much when it's not quite right, like
that Uncanny
video
Valley
games
kind of deal, right?
or like toys or all kinds of toys, but their faces don't look right, like dolls, like full-size people. It just doesn't, or robots. It just, something about it goes off, and you're just like,
Yeah. I remember reading one time a long time ago that
Uncanny Valley,
us as humans don't really like bitter things because we evolutionarily think that it's poisonous, like things that are really, really bitter are really bad for us. And we have pushed past that with coffee because we wanted to drink coffee so badly that we have evolved out of that for that taste.
Let's see. And we got surrounding. Check out Nerds of Color. They have a cool review on there about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Links to several reviews. Cool. And we'll talk about Doctor Strange in just a moment as we keep referring back to the chat. But number 3 for Tilda Swinton, Constantine from Warner Brothers back in 2005, $29.7 million.
Nice.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was okay.
It's fun.
Constantine.
It was all right. Coming in number 2, Trainwreck. Came out 2015, $30 million.
Such a funny choice of a project for her, but it's
That's a bit
great.
different,
But it's Tilda. She kind of does a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, it was a bad movie. I enjoyed it.
Did you guys ever see that the kind of art, the kind of installation she did, where she was asleep in a glass box?
Tilda Swinton?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She did kind of it was kind of like a Marina
say I
Abramovic
remember
kind of
it.
what is the word I'm looking for?
Like a David Blaine thing, where you
No,
hung
not
yourself
David
up
Blaine
above?
thing. No. It was an art piece, and she slept in this glass box. I don't know. I just like her. She's always a little bit all over the place.
Oh, just for a night she did that as a piece, or she did that for several days?
It might have been there. It might have been there for a couple days. I don't know. I don't even know where it was. Probably somewhere in London. I'm not even sure where it was.
That's what those cool things happen, guys.
Media Shock says Constantine is an underrated beast.
It's all right. It's
Yeah.
fine.
You say so, Media Shock.
Yeah.
I think, it was cool. And then, no, I wanted to add, no, I'm not Jessie from Toy Story. But it is funny that you thought that
I
as
only
well.
thought that because of the red hat. That was the only thing that did it for me.
But she has the little
She
white
has the
loops on
things-
it. and-
yeah.
yeah. But it's kind of a cool thing of how, well, kind of Doctor Strange costumes. If something has the basic checkpoints of what you think of when you think of that character, you can instantly be like, that's who they are. You know, so it's not like your outfit, I know who you are, like it's the basic color pattern.
Right.
Which is crazy how that kind of works with costumes and cosplay.
But it is like, now that I see like cosplay things online being done like so well, it's like when you kind of just make something work like good enough, you still feel kind of like
No.
lame.
It's another category. I call it closet cosplay. So it's what you have in your
I
closet
like that.
and do that.
I like that.
Or it's casual cosplay. So it's like what they'd wear on Casual Friday. But if people recognize you, you did the job.
You did a good job.
Yeah.
Lei-Jan, I love Snowpiercer. There's no way it's on this list.
Snowpiercer was cool. Yes.
That got taken out of theaters so fast. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone watched it in theaters. Everybody watched it on Netflix, but it is so good.
I saw
gotta
that
watch
at
that.
a Lemley theater.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Get home and watch it. Oh my gosh,
Guys,
I've
I
seen it
gotta
like
get
8
going.
times.
I'll see you next week here on
Yeah.
Box Office Breakdown. Number one, it isn't Snowpiercer. It is The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I like
From
that.
Love
2005,
those movies. With James
65.5.
McAvoy. Oh,
It was good.
I would totally rewatch that just for fun. It's really cute.
Tilda Swinton was one of the only good things in Hail Caesar.
I actually liked Hail Caesar, but I truly think I liked it so much because I live in LA and it was an actor kind of movie and it was kind of being involved. If you're not really involved, you know, I would think it was hard to like, but I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun to watch Channing Tatum tap dance.
Yeah.
There was parts of it that were cool.
Ship as a fanboy. If you read the comics, you know how Strange is. No martial arts, actual spell casting. Only he and Mordo were students when he trained with the Ancient One. Yes, more comments about Doctor Strange. So yeah, if we're talking about Doctor Strange, let's start talking about this coming up box office. Again, we have 3 films as we start predicting next week's box office top 5. We have Doctor Strange, Hacksaw Ridge, and Trolls. So certainly the chat is buzzing because it's been released internationally as well. So a lot of reviews already coming out about Doctor Strange. Are you guys excited?
I am excited to see it, but I gotta say, I'm seeing big numbers on here. And I do think we're gonna pull some numbers. I just don't think Doctor Strange is as recognizable. I don't think that it's gonna do astronomically well in terms of this world in this universe. Like, I just don't, I think it's gonna do well. I don't personally know the story of Doctor Strange. I'm still gonna see it because I like the movie, you know, I like these movies and whatever. But I just don't think we're gonna see numbers like we're seeing on the chat.
Well, we're seeing, like, as we're talking about predictions, just a few things to keep in mind. Captain America Civil War, which came out back in May, and certainly a more well-known property in the Marvel
Yes.
stable
Yeah.
films. $179 million its opening weekend, so huge.
That's
but then
huge.
you take something like Ant-Man, opened up in July of 2015, still like a little bit more of a busier month of summer, a little bit busier in the box office. But even then, like a less established character in the Marvel bullpen of characters to pull from, only did $57.2 million. And that's
that
in the
was a
summer.
really good one,
That's really
too.
good, and it did well as getting a sequel.
Yeah.
But that's also coming out in the summer. We're getting a little closer to the holidays, but
Yeah.
still the beginning of November. Do you think it's going to be able to do better than $57.2 million?
I do think it's going to do better than that, but I don't think we're going to get up to 100. We're not going to get in that range at all.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think the buzz, because there's been people talking about it for a long time,
Yeah.
pro or negative.
Yeah.
Which we'll
It's
get into
definitely
that
polarizing up to now.
too. So, but it's one of those, even bad news is good news. So, because then it gets your name out there, people are talking about it, and people who are aware of the comics are already on the Marvel train. They're like, yeah, got this. But with so many more movies, you're getting tons of other people that are like, I don't know anything about comic books, but I like these movies. They're onto it now, so I think they're like, oh, a new one, and Benedict Cumberbatch, he's a decent name drawer
he's
too.
Gonna pull
so
he's gonna pull
Oh,
fans
yeah.
for sure.
So you see a film coming out, and it's not even a Marvel film, but just any film coming out, and same week, one has Paul Rudd, one has Benedict Cumberbatch. Which one are you more excited to see?
Paul Rudd.
if I want a comedy, Paul Rudd. If I want,
I mean, I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I love the Sherlock.
I love Sherlock.
Love Sherlock, but you know, like,
Different movie. I go
how
to
did you
both.
guys feel about like
Double feature.
Imitation Game? You know what I mean? Like, Imitation Game was fine. You
That
know?
was good.
It was good. It was fine.
But like Sherlock, I was like, oh,
Sherlock is great.
Yeah.
But then when you look at Paul Rudd and you think of like
Yeah.
his, you know, I mean, he's just got such a reputation for just being like
Mm-hmm.
so wonderful.
Well, because it's also like when you think of Paul Rudd, you more often than not you're going to think of comedy. and seeing him
Yes.
more as you don't really see him as an action adventure leading man.
But
which
that's
he wasn't
why.
at.
That's why I liked Ant-Man, because
He was
that
a
was
comedy.
comedic
He was,
and
yeah.
action. So I was all
more of like a
for that.
Guardians thing with Chris Pratt, kind of
Yeah.
like, and we have people saying that they think it's going to pull more like Guardians numbers. That's upwards of 70, 80 million.
All right. So yeah, we've got that. and then-
But Chris Pratt did get like super sexy before that, so it wasn't like we had
That helps.
Andy from Parks and Rec coming in and playing Star-Lord. We had
is
sexy,
true.
ripped, new Chris Pratt.
So what you've seen so far, the marketing for Doctor Strange, has that done anything to kind of tip your opinion either way about wanting to see this film like right away, or like, nah, I'll get to it eventually?
I think the posters are cool.
It's a Marvel superhero movie. I'm going to see it anyways. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a rush to first weekend kind of person, but I'm maybe.
I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Marvel movies, sequels, reboots in general. Obviously, I'm always going to be more proactive for something that is like more original content. I get more excited about something that's original. I always have. So for me, I have a really love-hate relationship with the Marvel world, because I just go like, what about, maybe it's just supposed to be a in terms of medium and where things are supposed to be seen, does everything need to be put into a movie? No, it doesn't. And so in that way, even if the movies are good, I do think they are a little formulaic at this point. It is hard for me to get super excited about just another Marvel movie. Like I'll probably see it. Not opening weekend.
Ooh, MediaShock's guy in Forbes is saying $95 million this weekend. MediaShock, you serious?
Well, somebody was making a good point of how. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, I lost it. I'll come back to it. Problem with Doctor Strange too. Nope, sorry. I was like, one of those, I had it. And I'm like, nope. Don't you hate that? You're like, I was going with it.
It was going somewhere. I had a really great
I had a
thought.
really good comment, and I'm like, no.
Maybe it'll come back to you.
Well, okay. Let's talk
Sorry,
about
I
some
go
of
on
the
my mom
negative
rant.
buzz about it.
Yeah.
Let's get to that.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the Marvel films have been accused of kind of falling into a formulaic kind of.
No.
In terms of casting, we have Tilda Swinton playing
An
an Asian character,
monk,
which is
essentially.
like a little bit of a boy. I mean, we love
Yes.
Tilda. It's great
I
that
love
she's
this
so.
one.
It's wonderful that she's so. She can pretty much do anything.
Yeah.
But on the same time, we're in a very important time in terms of representation, cultural representation, cultural sensitivity.
Yes.
And to see this is like kind of like, what are you doing? Like, that people are going to be upset about this.
Yeah, but I also think
Yeah.
what people are doing they're just leaping on board before they actually see the final product.
I-
Because
that
you could
is-
have
yeah.
cast an Asian actor, but then all the talk would be like, oh, he's too stereotypical. Why are they making this such a stereotype? That could have been the potential buzz.
But for me, it's way more important. It's way more important to be getting the Asian actors into mainstream films and to always be casting, because the only way that you're going to be able to get rid of stereotypes is to just make sure that you're letting them, letting any kind of minority do any kind of thing.
There's that too, but you could have, casting a woman for a role like that too, not a bad choice as well.
I know, and
I mean,
I think that's their saving grace of their choice and everything. And I'm not.
And it's her, and she generally plays kind of weird, otherworldly characters. I will say, just devil's advocate, I will stand in the stance of I can't fully judge it until you see it, because we're all judging it on the trailer, like we were talking about Great Wall coming out, or I think it's just Great Wall. That one, it's like, okay, guys, calm down. It's just a trailer. They're showing us selective stuff. Maybe they explain the movie. I did hear a little bit about Doctor Strange that they kind of do explain her and a little bit, but I will admit, when I first heard it and it's like described as like essentially like like an Asian monk, like I don't know if I was told anybody specific, but I was like, and they didn't tell us when? I totally agree. I'm like, why couldn't they just cast an Asian person? Pick one of the regions. I don't care in terms of like at least do something.
Yeah, give 'em
make
the
that
work.
first step forward instead of like. Yeah.
Especially with a Marvel movie where it's like, it's going to do well. This is the time to be able to kind of experiment and, do something good.
That was the other thing. It was right. The problem
Creating
is
opportunities. Yes, thank you, Alban.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And the problem too is it's right around the same time period. So they did Doctor Strange. We've already have it for Ghost in the Shell and with Power Rangers. Like they've recasted specifically Asian characters
We
with
just keep
white
seeing
people,
it over and
you're just
over and
like,
over again.
"Oh." I mean, if it's it's a comic book, but still, it's like if that person is that nationality, ethnicity, and you just kind of ignore it, you're like, what? I mean, Ghost in the Shell, you could argue she's a robot, but still. it's like,
I just feel like it was a missed opportunity. It was just a missed
Yeah.
opportunity to do something
Yes.
pretty cool.
Well, I mean, we also have Wong, who in the comic books, at least in the early versions, described as his manservant. Kind of retooled this time around, where he's more of a teacher to Doctor Strange. They have more of a contemporary.
At least
kind
that's
of,
a step forward.
Yeah, so that relationship a little bit different. And in fact, you're going to get Wong in Infinity War, the next Avengers film. And who would have thought you'd ever see that the day you talk about? We're going to see Wong in an Avengers Infinity War film. So that's pretty cool. So for me, it's like I'd rather see the film and then make my judgments based on that before I start like just jumping on this train just merely based on a casting notice and some trailers, like Carrie said, we've seen some selects.
Yeah, and it's also one of those, you can't go, I think it's horrible for any movie just to be like, well, I don't like this one thing about it, I'm going to hate this movie. Because, of course, if you go in here, then you're going to hate the movie. So I'll give it a chance. I will be like, ruffle feathers of like, wait a minute. But I'll give it a chance. And, of course, I'd want to see it anyways. Ken Watanabe as the Ancient One. Ooh, yes.
Not make the Ancient One a stereotypical
That would
Asian
have been that would have been dope.
And I please don't take what I was saying and meaning that, because I don't know the comics, so I don't know where he's supposed to be from. But I'm like, you could have at least picked one or wherever it is from the comics. So.
So let's get into folks. You can chat. Excuse me. Throw in the chat about the film you want us to do for next week's box office bet while we get ready to predict our top 5 for next week. Again, the films that we have to choose from are we've got Doctor Strange, Hacksaw Ridge, and Trolls, along with our previous top 5: Boo, Madea, Halloween, Inferno, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. I gotta feel like I always have to say that. I just can't say Jack Reacher. I gotta say Never Go Back. The Accountant and Ouija, Origin of Evil. So while we do our top 5, you guys start chiming in the chat room. What do you want to see us do? Trolls, Hacksaw Ridge, or Doctor Strange? So, Carrie.
I think those numbers are for Trolls. We have 4 votes for Trolls.
Yes,
2
thank
for
you.
Hacksaw.
Alvin's always does great about keeping track of what we're doing. So,
I have a feeling I'm going
yes.
to end up seeing Trolls
guys.
anyway because of the kids that I babysit for.
I want to see it, actually.
So I have a feeling come Friday that's going to be the after school activity. So I'll be able to report back whether or not I win or lose this bet. So
Just saying, guys. I love you. I love you so much. You guys got like 2-3 minutes as we break down next week's top 5 to really just throw some votes. Doctor Strange's. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Serenity's comment. Tilda was great in the role, but that's because she's a great actress. It was still uncomfortable to watch at times.
Interesting. Oh, see, that just really piqued my interest.
Okay, thank you. Also, Nisid, sorry, I couldn't read how your name was, but the character's from Tibet, and then so China wasn't allowing screening of it. So that's a good point, too. So if it is a Tibetan character, could we have had somebody who's Tibetan, please? It's like, nope, that's not going to happen.
All right, Kari Lane, your thoughts about next week's top 5?
Doctor Strange is probably going to be number 1. I mean, I feel that's a safe bet.
All right.
Trolls, number 2. New family movie. They've done tons of advertising. And for the adults and grown-ups up there, they have some good voices behind it. And it looks like a nice, fun movie. It was one of those at first I was kind of like, Trolls, meh. But seeing more trailers, I was like, this actually looks kind of cute and funny.
We talked about this a little bit last week, where it's like you kind of have a little bit of the nostalgia with the parents because of the troll dolls, and then you have the music and the animation for the kids. Like, I think I can see that being fine family fun.
Hacksaw Ridge looks pretty darn good from the trailer. It's good timing going to the holidays, having that emotional, based on a true story, and also
we have big names in this one too.
Yeah, and doing good in non-violence, but helping people as well, because that was his thing of like, I'm not going to shoot anybody, but he did so much heroicism. Is that a word? For without doing violence. So that's kind of interesting timing for that as well.
I did think that it was. It looked like they gave it a lot away in the trailer.
Now, of course, this film.
Well, it's a true story, so you can look up what happens.
This film directed by Mel Gibson, so I certainly Hollywood likes to do their movie jail kind of thing, where they'll take personal things and kind of use that as like a reason not to employ people or give them a lot of good work. So, Is that going to keep you away from seeing the film?
Sorry, what was it though?
No,
Would
Hacksaw
Mel
Ridge.
Gibson as a director keep you away from seeing a film?
No.
Well, I definitely didn't see the
don't care.
gopher or whatever that was called.
Oh, The Beaver.
The Beaver.
But that
Oh,
was
I
Jodie
didn't see
Foster directed that.
No.
Oh.
But
The
I
last
did
film
like
that-
Apocalypto.
Yeah, the last film that he directed was Apocalypto back in 2006, and that opened up
I
at
did
15
like
million.
that.
That was a fun movie. That was
It was cool.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Different. Okay, so sorry, I'll go back to my numbers. Doctor Strange, Trolls, I'll go Hacksaw Ridge. And then, wait, so I'm gonna wait, Doctor Strange, Trolls, Hacksaw Ridge. I think Madea will stay in there. Madea and Inferno.
Cool.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm gonna switch it up just a little bit.
Do it.
I'm gonna go Doctor Strange, Trolls, Inferno, Madea, Hacksaw Ridge. I'm gonna
Okay.
go Hacksaw Ridge 5.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go Doctor Strange, Trolls. Man, I feel like Medea's still on the... I think Madea will do 3, Inferno 4, Hacksaw Ridge 5.
You might be closer with the Madea.
Oh.
I think we're gonna keep seeing people seeing this movie next
Yeah.
week for sure.
Serenity says for Hacksaw that's a straight up Oscar bait film, which I'm like, yeah, that's totally one of those movies. That's what makes me think
yeah.
of. Music fan, I will never support Mel Gibson again.
It's sad to say there are,
Interesting.
you
Yep.
will take your
You're
personal
not alone,
opinions.
music fan.
Well, even music fans, like when people have done crazy stuff, they're like, I'm never gonna listen to their song again. I hate them. So
That's true.
Like the Dixie Chicks, even
Yeah.
though like they were kind of right about some stuff.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking Chris Brown stuff. The people are
Oh.
like, nope.
yeah, it's can you separate the person from the art that they create?
Well, it's
And
like
sometimes
Michael
it's tough to
Jackson
do.
controversy too.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you guys think for the top 5?
I think we just did ours.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, so
But I want to keep seeing what you guys in the
Yeah.
because we kind of had like a little bit of variation. We all had the same
Yeah.
movies in the top 5, just to maybe in slightly different order.
yes.
Yeah.
So why don't we? I'd love to see what you guys think if we're gonna maybe see a different movie in the top 5 than,
I
than we
feel-
had.
Yeah, and I feel like the Sky's got Doctor Strange as 1, Hacksaw Ridge is 2, 3 Trolls, 4 Madea, and 5
okay.
Inferno.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge number 2. That's pretty bold, Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, was
I
so
don't know if we're gonna
focused
see
on,
it that high.
I was so focused on our opinions of people
Man.
and change stuff. I'm like, oh wait, what did you guys say? Okay, well wait. Then we haven't done how much.
No,
That's
it's
what
not.
We haven't done
It
it.
looks like thank you, Albin. I felt like
Trolls.
Trolls had the early lead. You guys, I hate you so much.
Uh-huh.
I asked just for
We
one
hate
nice
to
thing.
love you and we love to
I
hate
asked for
you.
one nice thing. Just let me see Doctor Strange.
Go see
Well, I'll
it
still go
anyways.
see it anyway, guys,
Voting's
but-
still open? No, we're at the
Nah,
end, man. We
it's
gotta do
Trolls.
it.
Just do what I do.
Trolls
Listen
or
to the
tease.
music and not get involved in people's lives.
Yeah, I know, but just like don't support
Ban
assholes also.
Ban Madea.
I still have to go see that.
Yes.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to see Max Steel. Oh wait, what do I have to see this weekend? I have to see Inferno. Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta see Inferno. I was gonna see it anyway.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the box office bet winner is Trolls. So, as usual, the way it goes is that we're all going to bet the person that is closest to the actual box office gets to survive another week without seeing that film. The one that's furthest away from the actual box office will see that film hopefully the next weekend or at least relatively soon.
I almost feel like we kind of have to kind of gauge where we think Strange is gonna come in to kind of gauge where we think Trolls is gonna come in.
Well, Quinn,
Oh,
as
music
the
fan is
loser,
oh,
I get to go last.
count.
you got to go last.
Nice.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I want to add, we've had this commented on our video a couple times. Someone picking a spot in the middle is not cheating. It's very safe. We rotate what order we go in. So I think it's totally fine that we do that because some people are like, well, if you go last and put your spot in the middle, then that's cheating because then you are in a safe spot. But that's why
I
we
wouldn't
rotate.
say it's cheating, but it is kind of
not cheating.
like
Yeah, it's a safe way out.
it's a safe.
It is. And,
and it's fair
bad.
because we rotate.
I'm not saying
If-
it's
Yes.
not fair,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like in terms of risk.
Yeah, sometimes you want to just,
Whoa.
you want to
Yeah.
you want to get that little Vegas moment. You're putting all chips in, no matter what. You're
Yeah.
always pushing it. So yes, that's true. We can also push it a little bit.
I think I went first last
Yeah,
time.
so I will go. I guess we're doing Trolls. If I'm saying that's number 2, and I'm thinking Doctor Strange. All right, what do I think Doctor Strange? I'll say if Doctor Strange should do like 60.
That's
Say
that's
60?
a
Okay.
nice safe
So
way to start.
I'm gonna say Trolls. Oh, man, I feel like I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna go 40 with Trolls.
See, I was gonna go 35. 35
right.
for Trolls.
Oh, but you're last, so you get a chance.
Okay.
Well, if you are
Karen.
confident on that. You
No,
can-
I'm not confident.
Wait,
I'm
you
just
said
saying you
30?
said 40,
40.
and I was
40?
thinking I'm kind of close
Okay.
to what you were saying. That's all.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere along the same lines for Strange of like the 50 to 60 range.
Yeah, totally.
My only problem is I put Hacksaw at 3rd, and I think that's going to do pretty well. So if that's the case, Trolls needs to be kind of high. But then again, we've had some where Madea and Inferno were only 1 million apart, which
Very
is not
true.
that far.
Yep.
I'm going to go with, you said 30, no, you
I
said
said
40.
40.
You got to go lower on this one because it's third on yours.
No, Trolls is second.
Oh, Trolls is second for you too.
Trolls is second,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, so you're trying to figure out your
Because
under
Hacksaw,
one.
yeah, I need my under.
Right.
I
We
think
saw people
Hacksaw's
honestly
going
not
to be
thinking
30,
it's gonna
so
do. You think Hacksaw's gonna do 30?
maybe not though. Okay, I'm going to go 30. That was my first thought for Trolls for 30.
30.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
And Quinn, are you going to stick with 35 or are you going to revise your estimate?
I will say I think I'm gonna go safe with Trolls at 35 this week because I'm probably gonna see it.
All right.
So either way, it doesn't really matter.
Save
I-
for 35 for Trolls.
Because he's going 40
And
and
I
she's
said
going
30.
30, so I'm in the middle, safe.
I like.
I highly doubt it's going to break 20.
Trolls?
I highly doubt Trolls is going to break 20. It's got Anna Kendrick, yeah, but like...
and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, but the trailer is the worst trailer I've seen for any movie ever.
it's
The
so
ad campaign they've been
funny.
doing is absolutely horrendous for that film. I don't think anyone's going to go see it. I think everyone's going to be seeing Doctor Strange
Yeah.
and Hacksaw Ridge.
But all the families and kids movies
See, yeah, I don't think
notoriously
Hacksaw
do
is gonna
well.
go. I don't think Hacksaw. I think Hacksaw's gonna do more like 15. I don't think we're gonna see massive
Well, then
numbers with this
I
one.
think I'm still
I
safe
never
at
said
my
massive
30.
numbers for Hacksaw, but Trolls, I
So what do you
highly
think? What do
doubt-
you think? Well, give me a number for Trolls. 12.
We have 40,
I'd
30.
say- I'm going to say 20 tops for Trolls. Doctor Strange is going to probably do around 55 to 60. Hacksaw Ridge will probably do 23.
Okay.
Because
All
it's
right.
Mel
Well,
Gibson.
I put
People have seen Mel
Hacksaw at
Gibson.
3, and I put Trolls at 2, so.
Well, I don't know, but I just say, 23. I feel like that'd still be high for Hacksaw. But
I think I don't know. I think we're gonna see.
Oh,
I think we're
okay.
gonna see. We've seen pretty good numbers for these kids movies.
They do.
So I don't. I think it's gonna do maybe not as high as 40, but I think it's
Yeah.
gonna do better than what you're thinking there. Steve.
yeah. But yeah, Michael J. Cox, my 5-year-old, loved the farting troll. So with
That
that kind
made
of
me
buzz,
laugh in the trailer, and it's like cupcakes.
yeah.
Okay, I'm the person who's gonna
Especially
go.
we don't have a whole lot of competition for kids movies going
Yes.
on right now.
I'm having better's remorse. Oh god. Oh god. All right, everybody.
You come in and
No,
you just
wait,
tear the
what?
rug out from under us.
right.
Come on, Quinn. What is your decision then?
I mean, like I said, it really doesn't matter what I think because I'm gonna have to see this movie. Fuck it, 35.
All right.
Okay. I like that someone
There you go.
said our spectrum. Someone said 30 to 40, which is exactly what we are.
Yeah.
There you go. So we'll see
Yes.
how accurate we are, or if we completely overshot the mark, like Steven thinks.
Steven, someone agrees with you in the chat. I don't think it'll break 20 either.
Albin, who do you say? Stick with it. Which one of us, Albin? Which
21
one of
for
us?
Trolls.
Choose a safe spot. He's talking to me.
Ah, Albin, that doesn't help me at all. Come on.
Okay, there you go, Serenity. Yes, the poopy cupcakes. It was very cute.
Cute enough to make $40 million, guys. Please tell me I'm right.
There's no competition, and there's no competition for this
Yeah.
movie. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a big movie at the box office in general. So I think all numbers kind of get risen up when that happens.
Yes.
I don't know.
And all the parents who probably, or the people who are into Trolls are probably parents and taking their kids.
We'll see.
So they get that nostalgia. All hail Oh, Finn.
Oh,
Yay.
next time do a Jeopardy style, so you all commit before revealing to each other.
Yeah, whatever.
No, that's also
We
true
could
too.
do
But that means
that.
we have to pick the film, and we have to do the film before
The
you
very
guys
no,
get to see
beginning,
it.
yeah. We could.
I
We
think
could
they
do that.
mean like we pick it and then you know.
You write it down. You have to
Yeah.
write your number down,
Yeah.
and then you have to reveal your number. So
Yes,
everyone's like,
yes.
"That's what I like." Just like Snatch Game on RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's right. Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just
We
me
could
who
certainly
watches
we could
RuPaul.
actually
Yes.
we could try that next week and see how we like that kind of
Yeah.
vibe with the game.
Okay.
That's still not going to help me get out of seeing Trolls.
Well,
though.
we still you said 35 even before I said my answer. So
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah, but that I don't care about Quinn. I care about me.
You went with 40, dude. That
I
was
know.
all you.
I did.
All you.
Oh goodness.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Box Office Breakdown. I resent all of you for not voting Doctor Strange. So we'll just leave it like that. No,
Yes.
folks, we love having you guys in the chat. You can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for hopping in the chat. We love hearing you guys'
Yes.
comments throughout the episode. Even if you don't vote the way I want you to vote, I still love all of you guys. So if you want to continue the conversation with us even after the show's over, Kari Lane, where can they find you?
Yes, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE, and Facebook at Kari Lane Actor.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Instagram at Quinnstgram, and you can find me on Snapchat at QuapChat.
And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Check us out on Facebook Live. We'll be doing an exorcism in just a few minutes, trying to bring back Richie Skye. So
Yes.
you can be back here and joining us next week at Box Office Breakdown.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll see you next week right here on Popcorn Talk for another episode of Box Office Breakdown.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.